Well, Suge just got sentenced.
Yeah.
We took a plea deal
Yeah.
of 28 years.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, he took that deal because, I think it was his son was talking about that as well, that he was trying to avoid that and life sentence.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I heard, there's people who get 7 to life and 28 years later,
Absolutely.
they're still in prison. Like,
George
Jackson got 1 year
rest
to
in
life.
peace. 1 year to life.
End up doing
One
End
year
up
to life.
dying in prison.
Yeah.
Never coming home.
1 year to life.
1 year to
And
life.
How many years did he actually do?
Did about 12, and then he tried to break out, and he got
So they
killed.
say.
Well, he
Allegedly.
did. No, he did. He did,
I
bro. They
wouldn't
got the whole thing. I seen it. Yeah, he tried to.
You get that in your repertoire, man. You need to get some of that George Jackson in your repertoire.
Yeah.
Yeah, George was a cold dude.
Real dude, man. I'm talking about a dude who was so cold with this pen, man, that a whole book is just published about his letters.
Wow.
Just letters written to Angela Davis, his mother, and people like that.
Yeah.
Well, and I've said this before, when you look at that situation with Suge, like I thought he was gonna potentially beat the case.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of seemed like self-defense to me.
I thought it would be. I thought that was he had a good strategy as far as the defense.
If someone just beats me up, and I think someone has a gun, I might try to run him over too as I'm trying to get away. Like, the heat of the moment.
Backing up and the going back forward. I think that was the overkill.
Right.
I think all that could have been beat.
Right.
In my
But
opinion,
from what I
legally.
understand, the cusp of it was Suge just wasn't supposed to be there, period.
Yeah, definitely.
He came over there doing the typical Suge fuck shit.
by himself trying to push a line that
Yeah.
It's
when
his
you try to
neighborhood
become bigger
and
than
all
the
that.
program, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
happened.
You're pushing a line against a billionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
And there's just other ways it
It's
could have
not
been
even
done.
just that, because Dre don't, I mean, I ain't
could've
gonna,
been
not
done
to
just
say it like
differently,
that,
yeah.
but I ain't gonna say it like that, but I don't think Dre, Dr. Dre speaking, holds any weight in Compton to where he can
well, I don't mean
make somebody move, but money, money is something else
Bullshit
too.
run a
Bro.
marathon.
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, and that buys you
A
a
lot of
high
things.
level of security. I mean, you could have Navy SEALs around you.
Absolutely,
You could have
absolutely.
Israeli, soldiers around you, whatever the hell you want.
Absolutely.
Because I'd heard that Easy had Israeli soldiers,
Yeah,
bodyguards.
he had some people around him like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Easy once again was a multimillionaire.
Yes, he was.
What did you guys think of when you heard about the Suge sentencing?
I got mixed emotions about it, man. Like I say, me and Suge been cordial. Suge done sent me a couple of dollars for my birthday. You know what I mean? So things like that. So, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I think it's strategic. You know what I mean? A lot of it's strategic. Well, what could happen if Suge was to come home? You know what I mean? Terry Carter was a man with people who loved him too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a lot that needs to be thought about in that situation.
I personally
what I mean?
feel like it's just sad, man, because here's a man who had all of this, potential, man, and built something so powerful and wasn't smart enough to hold on to it. You know what I mean? So it's like, from that perspective, it's sad, but at the same time, Suge had there's a lot of things about Suge that y'all don't know. There's a lot of things that happened that never made it to
None
media.
of us don't know.
That never made it to media. You understand? Like just in Compton alone.
Yeah.
And I think he just created this bad energy, man, that, eventually it was gonna come back to haunt him in some type of way.
Well, I've always said this. I've been around Suge a couple times, maybe three times that I could think of, and I've never approached him, never had a
Yeah,
conversation
you
with
told
him.
me that before. Like it wasn't even
Don't-
worth it.
Not interested.
Yeah.
Not interested in people like, yo, you should interview Suge now. Not interested.
Right.
Don't need any.
Let somebody else do that.
Don't need an official connection to the guy.
Yeah.
There's too many bad stories, too much bad reputation.
If you look at it, so
Makes
you can look
sense.
at that shit different ways, right? It could have been a way where, like I tell people all the time, the powers that be and the people who control a lot of the stuff that go on as far as entertainment, it's intelligent people. It's a lot of people put in position and to do certain things and to react a certain way to just be put on display. So now they can say, okay, this is why we won't do this because that's what you're gonna do with it. You know what I mean? Shit like that. And I don't think Suge understood his responsibility in that part of it. You know what I mean?
Well, when Suge did his interview, he did like a phone interview, I think, with The Blast, right after he accepted the sentence. And he said that he thinks that Dr. Dre tried to have him killed.
Yeah. I think at that point he was just so desperate, he just trying to say anything.
Well, and also Suge kept saying that Tupac is still alive.
Yeah, see, he was probably,
and now his son.
I heard rumors he was on drugs, like he was doing all kind of like mollies and powder, and whether it's true or not. But
yeah, but now his son, Suge's son, Suge Knight Jr. is now pushing the whole Tupac is alive thing. And if I were to guess, I'm sure that's coming from Suge.
Probably.
He has to live. He has to live. You got to understand. He's been living off media for a long time, so he has to find some type of way to strategize to keep some type of media attention on his name. I would think. You know what I mean?
Probably.
That might be more
desperate,
hustle than anything.
Well, you're sitting down for a long time.
I don't see nobody going to prison on no 4-yard even talking like they telling on nobody about nothing.
Ain't going there.
So you know what I mean? So,
he's not going there.
Yeah.
We're going to sensitive needs.
Well,
he couldn't even walk the line the last time he was in jail.
He's in Mill Creek.
Well, he'd be in PC, I assume.
Yeah.
Well, because no prison wants to be responsible for Suge dying.
Well, his
on their watch.
paperwork prior to what happened when he first went to prison, I think he got stabbed. Wasn't bad
so
or something like that.
He can never go back on it.
He can't go. He can't go.
Can never go back.
Oh, he got stabbed in prison?
Yeah, the first time I believe. From what the Bloods in there told me. Yeah.
Suge got stabbed in prison the first time.
Probably wasn't
that's
like
after
crazy
the
stabbing.
Oh, after the MGM incident.
They hit him, but it didn't really happen. Yeah. That when he did that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have so many interviews with people talking about how Suge pulled out guns on him.
Yeah. See.
I mean, Virgil Roberts, who was running Solar Records, he broke down that original incident.
Suge brings him into the studio and has everybody, people from the rehearsal, said, I want you all to come in here. And he said, this is what's going to happen if you use that phone. And so he tells the guy, take off his clothes. And he says, I'm not taking off my clothes. So then he shoots the gun he has by the guy's ear.
In the Solar Records building.
In the Solar Records building, in the studio.
See, we don't get to witness things like that. We come from a place where they know you got to kill us. You type of shit. We don't none of that. We don't have no parts. None of that.
The guys was from New York, I think. I don't even think they was from. But still, yeah.
I mean, A.J. Johnson talked about a situation where Suge pulled out a gun on him.
Suge Knight get word that I'm doing Easy video.
Okay.
He called me into his office.
Before the Easy E video.
Before the Easy video is done. We just done half of Easy video, like we done one day of it. So I had to go back tomorrow to finish it. But Suge called me into the office. He like, man, you can't finish that video. I'm like, what? I don't have nothing against Dre. I don't have nothing against Easy. I'm a comedian. I'm trying to pay my rent.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't do it. I'm like, what you mean I can't do it? He already paid me. Suge pulled a gun out. Pow. I said, you can't do it. I won't do it. I went and told E. I said, man, I can't finish the video.
Did you do the DOC? I don't know.
DOC talked about that wasn't my interview, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. He said he was rolling around with Suge, and Suge pulled out to someone and started shooting at him. Listen,
that's what I'm saying.
I've owned guns forever. I've never had the need to do any sort of gunplay to pull it out on somebody. You know what I mean? It's like I feel that if I pull out my gun, I have to kill this person, and that's the only reason
you're pulling it.
I'm not pulling it out to show off, to scare you, to have you drink my piss and all these other stories that you hear Suge talking about, like, you know. So it's one of those things where it's like, yo, like you've been pushing that line for so long.
A lot of times, you know, people's reputation supersedes a lot of things. You know, it was times that we was in the industry and there was people calling the radio station saying we was taking niggas everywhere we go, so they couldn't, and we wasn't doing none of that. You know what I mean? So you know, a lot of times reputation supersedes people, real true intentions or whatnot. That's like when I first went to meet with Suge, I remember we was at Tony Rumors. I sat down with all them dudes. My mother was calling, blowing my phone up because somebody told her I was going to meet Suge Knight for the first time. Right, we were going to sit down and have dinner with the dude, right? And she called my phone. She wanted to speak with the dude, and I put him on the phone. And she like, man, that's my baby. You better not do shit to my baby. She got just like that. You know what I mean? Just like that. No, mom, just the home. Here you go, some shit like that. So you know, reputation. You can't. Getting caught up with all the, you know, people say a lot, man. A lot of people say shit because they trying to get some attention on them because we're in a day and era where you say some shit, you might get popular.
Yeah, but you know, when the stories keep, you know, like I'm thinking another RBX talked about an argument he had with Suge and Suge pulled out a gun.
So we do the chronic, everything is good. when we go backstage, it was 8 performers with Dre, Snoop, everybody came with the 8 performers. So when we get back to the dressing room, there is a table and it had 8 bags of chicken on it. I didn't know who the chicken was for, but I kind of just put my little educated guess, okay, well, this is for the performers when they get done performing, because they had the waters up there and everything. So I just automatically walked in, grabbed a bag of chicken, because I'm thinking one of them is mine. I just grab one and I get to munching and yada, yada, yada. So the rest of the homies, they get their bag of chicken and yada, yada, everybody eating. Then Suge walks in. And then he walk in talking about, well, who the fuck ate my chicken? Because I guess he had some friends that he was about to bring through, and that chicken was for them. I'm like, yo, but yeah, nigga, they ain't perform. I'm hungry. It's 14,000 people out there. I can't walk down the street. You ain't got no catering here. Nigga, we ain't ate all day. We done did 2 shows. And you finna trip on us about eating a couple pieces of chicken? Nigga, please. And at that juncture, he said something stupid. Like, whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like, okay, nigga. Then he called me a ricket. He was like, fuck rickets, nigga. Whoop, 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 whoop. Me being the nigga that I am, I said, fuck slobs, nigga. Let's move around. I jumped up. We got to going at it. Whoop, 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 whoop. You feel me? They broke it up. He pulled his little pea shooter out. Like, and then I really went ballistic. Like, nigga, you gonna pop me, nigga? And that was the first show.
There's no stories about Vlad pulling out guns on people.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah,
like, you know,
that's what they say, yeah.
I'm just saying, these are all coming from people that were actually there, that actually had careers. These were not just hanger-ons. Like, these are actual legitimate.
We heard a lot of the stories too.
Yeah,
man,
we heard a lot of it. I wrote it in the song.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The way I wrote Real Motherfucking G's, boot camp, you're getting treated like, those were stories that we were being
fed.
Yeah. Those were stories that I had to
you're getting treated
write
like
notes,
boot camp.
write notes, tell me everything that they got going on.
You're right.
So those were the stuff that I wrote into the song, because we already knew the stories. But we also knew people who lived in these areas, who know everybody, who know, so we know the real stories too. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, I remember there's a book called Have Gun Will Travel. Did you guys ever read that?
Yeah, I ain't read it, but I heard of it.
Yeah, and I mean, essentially, there was just a room in death row with like no door. I mean, no door handle, that they would just go in the back, beat the shit out of people. You know.
Hey man, I went to meet with Suge Knight at Can-Am for the first time before we had that dinner. And that nigga office was all red. Knocked the whole, when you walk that motherfucker, the carpet, everything was, like when we went to Terry Carter house that night, Terry Carter whole bedroom was red. His office was like that. And I had a blue khaki suit on purpose. I had my pistol, and I was with another Compton crib. He had his pistol on purpose. You know what I mean? We was going to talk business, but we just had this. I was just trying to establish an understanding between me and Suge. Like, I'm a crip. If you want to talk to me about business, this is where I'm from. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna be treated like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Trey D was the same way.
Yeah.
You know, one of the times we talked, he said about how Warren G's chain got snatched.
Yeah.
By some death row dudes, and he had to go into Suge's office and go get that chain back.
Some dudes snatched one chain in the parking lot of Can-Am in like about 90, 95, 96, something like that, and had ran back up in the Can-Am. And so Warren G went and got C-Style, and they went and, you know, they hollered at Suge, and Suge brought him in the room with the, you know, the big red death row rug with the thing, don't step on the logo with the Doberman pincher, but Damu right there and all this. And it was just a lot of theatrics, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, you getting tickets. What's really going on? You know what I'm saying?
Well, because that's Dre's stepbrother. Right?
Oh, he got his chain back. We wasn't leaving unless he was getting his chain back. Something else was gonna happen. We wasn't like that. Wasn't nobody getting punked at death row when I was there.
I mean, you know, Snoop's whole crew was Crips.
Yeah. It was just Thunder. They was in Thunderdome. It was around a lot of YA babies, penitentiary babies, with a nigga with some money, let them do what they want to do. That was what they was gonna have to go through to be a part of that camp at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Suge got sentenced, and we had posted this article where his son was saying how unfair it was and so forth. Someone responded to the tweet and said, "You do know your dad made motherfuckers drink piss, right?"
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, yo.
We all
See, that's his
responsible for
child.
ourselves, man.
Yeah, but that's his child. It's, you know,
Yeah, he's supposed to defend
man.
it. I mean, that's what he's
But,
going to do.
yeah,
But
man,
to no avail, though. He really shouldn't do that. He really need to be quiet. Go kick back, let his daddy show him where some of that money buried at, so he can go enjoy some of that shit. Because if you keep being on the front street, you ain't gonna never be able to pull none of that money out for you. All the real.
Yeah.
You kick back, man. He Pops took what he said he can take, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean?